Hi, Shreyas. Good morning.
Hello. Yes, sir.
Yes. So, what about your MC5? Have you completed it?
Hello. So your voice is a little breaking.
What to add, and where to add. So which like we have to first start Eureka server, then API gateway. Little bit confusing for me this backend, and rather than
Okay,
this
but
front end
so
is easy.
based on what I can understand is, so you are able to understand the concept. The thing is, when it gets implemented, how it works, you
Yes,
find
sir.
it difficult there.
Yes,
Okay, that can be solved when you practice a lot. You will get
yes,
familiar with that.
yes, sir.
I think maybe due to some external factors, you were not able to practice or put efforts a lot
Yes, sir.
in
Yes,
back end.
yes, sir.
So that is the reason for this. Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. Almost all of you have joined. Okay. So guys, before I start with the project, okay, few things based on your response for the question. Okay. So like Siddesh said, he is confident, but he may take some time to solve a problem. Okay. And now, so guys, don't underestimate yourself. Okay, one thing. And second thing, when you face a problem, try to find a solution instead of getting stuck there itself. Because most of you, when I connect with you, either for some issue or anything, what I can feel is you guys sometimes get stuck somewhere and you stay in the same place. Instead of finding a solution, you get more anxious and worried only because you are facing some problem. Yes or no, guys? Okay. So not just for your this course. Okay. Even in your life, whenever you face a problem, first time you may get panic. Okay, I'm getting a problem. How I will be able to solve it? Okay. But the thing is, try to relax yourself. Try to find a solution. Now, always remember one thing: there is a solution for all problems. Whatever may be the problem, there will be a solution. Only thing is, you may able to find a solution in 2 days. Maybe someone will be able to find the solution in 1 day. But the more problems you solve, you gain more experience. Please understand that. Okay. So just because you are not able to solve a problem, it doesn't mean that you don't have the skill. Okay. Skill is just like you are running in 100 meters for the first day. You will take nearly 20 seconds. Just an example. Maybe after 1 month, you will be able to run the same 100 meters in 15 or less than 15 seconds also. It all depends. The more you practice, your skill is getting improved. Okay. So whatever you said now, say like Ajay said, he was not able to, due to some external reasons, he was not able to give this 100% effort. So he was able to understand the concept, but he was not able to. When it comes to implementation, he was finding it little kind of thing doubtful. Why we are doing this? Why it is getting implemented? Something like that. The thing is, when you face such kind of situation, don't worry that you are not able to find a solution. That is the main thing, guys, because most of you are in this category. Thing is, when you are stuck somewhere, when you are not able to solve a problem, you get a feel that I'm not able to solve a problem and you stay there instead of finding a solution. Yes or no, guys? What about others? I received one reply. Yeah. Now, what you are going to do from today is you will be given a project, and we have about 7 learners: Ajay, Deepak, Pranali, Rohini, Shreyas, Siddesh, and Shriyari. We have 7 learners, and you guys will be divided into 2 different teams. Okay, 2 different batches, and each batch will be given a separate project. And now you guys need to implement all the things which you have learned and create a project. So your initial stage will be similar to the projects which you have done, MC3 or MC4 or MC5. Whatever master challenges you have done, it will be similar. But the thing is, in your master challenge 3 and master challenge 4 or your practice challenges, we have given the requirement. So we have given, say, you need to create a domain class for this particular user or product, and then we have provided you the properties it should have. And we also have the requirement for these methods. Say you need to perform CRUD operation, and you need to perform CRUD operation on these properties, or we have given you some list of requirements. Okay, but now what you are going to do is we will just provide you a task or a problem definition. Okay, based on the problem definition, you guys will be creating a structure of your application, which means your architecture of your application, whether you are going to use synchronous communication or asynchronous communication, or what will be the types of services to be used, or if you are looking for additional features. Say for example, we have learned about tokens. So JWT token is just one thing. Okay, so instead of that, if you are looking for another way of authentication, you can implement it. So one is, maybe you can use OAuth, or if you want to use some Google API, you can use whatever you want, you can add. Thing is, when we have the final product, it should be what we asked in our problem statement. Is that clear, guys? Yeah. Okay. And second thing, please have the practice of going through your error logs. Okay. Only when you understand your error logs, you will be able to understand how your program works, your application works. Because theoretically, we say that, okay, this particular dependency depends on, sorry, this particular task is provided by this particular dependency. Or say, if I want to create a bean, I need to provide an annotation at the rate bean. So we provide you with different concepts, but only when you implement, or when you make some mistakes, or when you miss something, you will get an error. So when you get an error, you will be getting a better understanding why you are getting this problem. Say if there is something called invalid property defined at constructor with 0 index. So if you go through this error log, you can understand, okay, somewhere it is depending on another object, but it is not getting injected. So you should be in a position to analyze it. Maybe you have not auto-wired it, or you might have not created a constructor for it. So you should be in a position to understand the problem and evaluate how to fix it. Okay. So for the next 3 weeks, you will be working on a project, and where you will be responsible for the final product. Whatever may be the features it can have, you are allowed to add it. But thing is, you need to meet the deadline, and at the same time, it should be a good working product. This is the only requirement, guys. Okay. So guys, what I will do is I will start with the presentation first. So guys, can you please confirm whether you are able to see my screen or not? Any one of you?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, thank you. So guys, so this project we have named it as capstone project. This course module is named, we have named it as capstone project. Ajay, you have logged in.
Yes, sir, because my laptop battery is drained, so I logged in from that.
Okay, so I thought someone joined.
No, no, sir, no, sir.
So first thing, like we have discussed till now, you should imagine yourself that you have joined a company. Okay, you are a full stack developer working in a company. So the first thing, if you are working in a company, your responsibility will be to meet the deadlines, whatever may be, either having a meeting in the morning or having a final meeting in the evening, whatever it is, you guys need to meet the deadline. When a task is given to you, you should complete the task on the given deadline. So first thing, imagine yourself, you have assigned your first task as a full stack developer. Now, we need to know what do we mean by full stack project look like and how to approach a full stack developer. Sorry, how a project is approached as a full stack developer and how you need to prepare yourself to complete those tasks. We need to understand them. So first thing, one, a full stack developer is a person one who is proficient in both front end and back end technology. So you guys have already completed almost 1 month or 4 weeks of course in front end and 4 weeks of course in back end. So you have good knowledge on front end and back end technologies. Now, additionally, as a full stack developer, you are allowed to perform certain DevOps tasks. So under DevOps, we have learned about CI pipeline. CD, we have not discussed much about it, but we are aware of CI and how this project is getting Dockerized and getting deployed on a server. So we are aware of it. So depending on your environment, you may need to perform some DevOps tasks as well as you need to run or write test cases during your development cycle. Now, what is a full stack project? A complete non-trivial full stack project by applying the skills you have acquired. Okay, whatever the skills you have acquired, you need to apply those skills and create your project. So whatever the things, first you need to analyze your requirement, design your application, the logical coding, testing, make a review yourself. And if there is a requirement for refactoring, refactor the code, perform integration and demonstrate your code. This is what you guys are going to do. So whatever we have discussed till now is you guys have worked with Angular, Bootstrap, and in backend we have worked based on Java-based technologies. And in databases we have learned multiple databases, NoSQL database and MySQL database. Both we have learned. So now all these are combined together. You are going to create a project. The thing is, if you want to implement something new on your Angular projects, you are allowed to do. Okay, so you have a basic knowledge, like you have learned alphabets in your kindergarten. Then when you move on to the other grades, you will be learning different words. Same way, you have a basic knowledge on front end and back end. Now you guys need to implement your knowledge, as well as if you want, you can add something new on your skills. So how we are going to create a project. So for creating our project, you guys are going to follow agile development cycle. So in agile development cycle, it is just like your test driven development. It is a iterative development cycle. So what happens? Initially, you will be having a task. For the task, you will be having a requirement. You need to code it, design it, test it. If required, you need to refactor the code, and you need to start from the beginning. So this is just a agile methodology. So in agile, okay, I will come to that later. So this is just a iterative process where you will have your own task for a given deadline. For that task, you need to get the requirements, perform the coding, test it, and then deploy it. So this will be your agile development cycle. So here you can see in this picture, you will not be developing all the complete application at once. Each module will be developed once, tested, and then you will move on to the next module. This is what your agile development cycle, and this will be your complete schedule for our project. So day one, which is today, you guys need to understand the requirements of the application. This will be your first day. So what you need to do, you guys need to perform a research, and I think you need to find the different technologies which you can use or requirements of that application. So we are just going to provide you a name of the application. So based on that, you need to search and find the different functionalities it can have. Okay, then your second day, you need to create a structure of your application. So day one, you have created a requirements. Say you need these domain classes, this number of services, and this will be the technologies to be used in your front end, or some other technologies which you can implement in back end. So you will be just analyzing them, research them, and you will be preparing a list of requirements based on the given task. Second day, based on your research work, you will be designing the structure of your application. From day 3, first 4 days will be developing front-end components and the back-end service. So which means in a team, if one person is having a task for creating, say for example, based on the example what we have discussed before, say if one person is responsible for creating user authentication service, he will be responsible for creating the backend as well as front end. Is it clear, all of you? Say for user authentication, you'll be having a sign up page. So in that case, based on our discussions which we had in day 1 and day 2, you know that these are the technologies which you will be using in your front end. So based on that, what you guys can do is, for your service, this is the application you want, you can design it. Is it clear? Yes or no, guys? Okay. So again, the third day again will be the same process. Sorry. After 4 days, the next 3 days will be the same thing. Develop the front-end components and the back-end services. Next, based on these 7 days task, you will have, it means you should have a complete code. Okay. Sidesh, I will repeat. Okay. So based on these 7 days, you will be having almost a complete code, 80 to 90% completed code. So you will be checking whether it meets the requirement, or if it requires some changes, you will be working on it for the next 3 days, and the last will be your packaging and presentation. So here, which means within almost in this 10 days, you guys need to complete your project. Is that clear, guys? So 10 days means it is almost just 2 weeks. So in 2 weeks, your project should be a complete project as per the requirement. The last 3 days will be just packaging, which means you create a container, you deploy it on a server and test it. You will be just preparing for the final presentation. Okay. Sudesh, what I was saying is, say if you are provided a task for creating an authentication service, just for an example, what you need to do is you need to develop the front end as well as the back end for that particular module service. So you may think that how I'll be, if I'm creating a backend, it will be in a front end, it will be in a different design, or while others are working on a different design. Thing is, the first 2 days when you are creating your requirement analysis and creating the structure, you will get to know the idea how your application should look like, how your front end should look. So thing is, when you're working on a front end, you will be working on the back end also. The other way, either when you're working after completing the back end, you need to create an application for your front end also. Say if you're working for authentication, you'll be creating the front end for the authentication service. Later on, after 10 days, you can integrate them together and create one complete structure. Is that clear, all of you? So next thing, okay guys, what I will do is, before I move to the project, I will just divide yourself in your batch into two. Thing is, one is Ajay. So first team will be Ajay, Deepak, and Pranali, and Shreyas. So this will be team 1, and team 2 will be Sidesh, Srihari, and Rohini. Is this okay, guys? I think you don't have any issue here. Okay. So this team 1 will be working on a project called Kanban. Okay. And team 2 will be working on to-do list. Okay. So I will explain what is Kanban board and what is to-do list. Now we can move to our presentation slide. So first I will start with the Kanban project. So guys, please follow this carefully. Okay. So what is Kanban board? So Kanban board is just similar to a to-do list. Thing is, you will be adding a task. I think this is visible. So guys, I think now it is visible. So can you see this? So first thing, your front end will be look something like this. Okay, this is just an example of Trello's website. Okay, your home page or the Kanban board will have different columns. Okay, so in Kanban they call it as swim lane. It will be just like a swim lane. So here I'm not able to use a marker now. Okay, I will use this. Say this is just like the swim lane for player 1 or this is for player 2. So different swim lane. Each lane will have its own task to be done. Say for example, here we have a group of tasks called as to do. So which means when you start a project, you will have a list of tasks to be done. So that will be under your to do. Okay. Then you have different stages of your project. So you will have a research stage, a progress stage, review, completed. This is just an example, guys. Okay. So what happens when you pick up a task? First thing you will do is research. Once you complete, what will happen is this particular card research will move to progress. So after researching, you start building your application or start working on your task. Next, once you complete your task, this task needs to move to review. Even in review, if it is 100% satisfied, then it will be marked as completed. So it is just like a hierarchy of workflow. So you will start from to do, and once a task is completed, the task will be moved to the next phase of the project or the workflow. And here, when there is a task, when it is moving to research, you have the option to assign the task to some person. Say if I am the project manager, it may be in any XYZ company, not just software. It can be any company. Okay. So what I will do, I will have a list of tasks. So I will just say create offer notification email. So I will just say, Deepak, you should take care of this. So what will happen is I am assigning this task to Deepak. So which means the next phase, when it reaches the research phase, Deepak will be assigned with the task for creating after notification email. So then after the research is completed, what I can do is say progress will be taken care by the another person. So I can assign it to another person, or the same person will be responsible for its progress also. It all depends. Is it clear, guys? What is Kanban board? Okay. So Kanban board is an agile project management tool designed to help visualize work and limit work in progress. So here you can see in to do, if there are 100 tasks, it is not an issue. But in research, you cannot have a given limit of tasks, because it means if more number of tasks are available in research, say for example, there is a team of 5 members working on research, then it means they are loaded with multiple tasks, which means multiple tasks are pending to be completed. So it should be avoided. So you should have an option to limit the work in progress, and it ensures that the efficiency of your team is getting improved, because when a task is assigned, the person will be able to know, okay, this is the task which I need to complete it today. So he will be able to work on the task and he will complete it as per the deadline given to him. So Kanban board uses cards, columns. So these are columns. Columns are called as swim lanes, if you look for some references. And continuous improvement to help technology and service team complete their work on time. So Kanban is a Japanese word for visual signal. So team 1, Ajay, I think, who else? Yeah, Ajay, Deepak, Pranali, and Shreyas you guys will be working on Kanban board. Next, what are the requirements? So first thing, you should have an option to add the card easily, quick add. So visually represent the task in a card. That card can contain informations like, so who is taking care of the task, the current person who is responsible for it, and its status, such as deadline, who it is assigned to, what is the task to be done, description, etc. Whatever you want, you can add this in your card. So this will be your first requirement. Second thing, project and goals. Each column on the board represents different stage of the workflow. Okay, so here we have provided only to do research in progress and review completed. Depending on the project or the company, it will have a different workflow. Say one may have production, testing, or development. It may have different stages. So thing is, each column represents different stage of workflow. The two common thing will be, first thing, it will be having a task or something to be done, and the last one will be completed. Between these two columns, you can have n number of columns depending on the organization structure or the project they are working on. And the cards will be under each, will be in this workflow until they are full completion. So only when it is completed, this card will be moving to in progress. So until then, it will be available in the same workflow column itself. And you should have an option to work in progress limit. So which means on a single column, say if you are allowing only 5 workflow, say we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Say I can add one more column here. So one more card here. So 5. Say if a person tries to add 6th card, which means add one more task here, it should not be allowed to add one more task. You should have an option to limit the work in progress. Is that clear? Okay. Next thing, highlight task. Each task must have a priority level. Say some task may have high priority, some task may have low priority. So depending on your logic, you can have different colors or different design for your card. Say high priority level task will have a different color or different design. Low priority with a different design, something like that. So, but thing is, you need to highlight the task or the cards based on their priority level, and your task should be displayed as per the priority. For example, if the task is not of high priority, then we can shift the task in progress to be done. So what they mean is, say if there is a task which is of low priority, it can be moved to another column 1 before it, which is to be done. You can do that. Is that clear, all of you? Team 1, Jai Keeper. So what is the work planning? Okay. So for planning your work, we will be making use of a tool called ClickUp. Okay, it is just a tool, just like Slack. We will be having a tool called ClickUp. So here in this tool, we'll be creating a, so as per the sprint we have provided, day 1 will be understanding your task to be done, evaluate the things to be done. So we will be creating a workflow in this tool called ClickUp, and every day based on this, we will be just reviewing it. Is it clear, all of you? So this is just a tool to track your progress. What will be evaluated? So first, you are allowed to use any front-end technologies like HTML, CSS, Bootstrap, Angular. Say for example, you for sure you will be working on Angular project, but for the design, you can either use Angular material, or if you are able to find some other frameworks, you are allowed to use. There is no restriction in your frameworks for your front-end design. Either you can depend on Bootstrap, CSS, or any other frameworks to apply design to your front end. It should be compatible with your Angular application. Is that clear? First thing. Okay. Second thing, build modular, reusable, and smart components. Here, what we mean is we have already discussed in our Angular application, like creating a library. So you can create one component, make it as a library. So wherever you want, you can just import it. So it should be reusable. You should not create a new component for each page, or say for sign up page, you will have a different component. For a dashboard, you may have a different component. But if there is some similarity, you should make sure that you have a component which is reusable instead of creating a new component for each view. Is that clear? Second thing, backend. You should follow the pattern of microservices. Then all your microservices and your backend, front end should have a proper testing code. You should be able to write a code to test your different layers of your backend, as well as P2E testing for your front end application. And database, you can use any type of database as per your choice. There is no restriction. As we have discussed before, for a database, for a data which is consistent, you will be depending on SQL based databases. For a non-structured data, you can use any type of data depending on your requirement. It can be MongoDB, Redis, Neo4j, whatever maybe you can use, but you need to decide. Then you need to containerize your application. Then you should ensure that you have a good quality of code, which means your naming convention of your classes, variables, methods, you should follow the standard. Is that clear, all of you? So next thing is again similar to this combined code, but little different. Okay. So this one is for team 2. Okay, to-do tracker. So in to-do tracker, what you guys are going to do is just you are going to create a to-do list. Okay, just like your Keep Note application. I think guys, you are familiar with Keep Note. Yes or no? What about Srihari? Yes. Okay. Just similar to your Keep Note, you are going to create a to-do tracker. So what to-do tracker will do, just like when you want to take a note or add something, you just need to so first, if you want to add some text or add images to the note, you should be in a position to add them. Then you can track the task. So you can say, you can create and share the notes and list. If you want, you can share your notes to the others. With the help of to-do tracker, you can accomplish a set of tasks in order to achieve a goal wherever you are. So when you are traveling or when you are in the classroom, you can make use of a to-do list or a tracker to track the task which you guys need to do. It is just a tool. So use apps on our phones to manage our task. To-do tracker surfaces the right task at the right time, so you always know what to focus on next. So which means today I will have a list of tasks to be done. Maybe tomorrow I'll be having a different set of tasks to be done. So it is just going to display the task which I need to complete it today. Next, what you want to do in your application. So you should have add and categorize task. A task can be added and categorized, and get a clear overview of all your tasks and never lose track of any important task. So which means you should have a list of tracks which are grouped in different categories, and at the same time, say for a given deadline or a given day you are going to complete a task, you should ensure that you are never left with some important task. Okay. Organize your task. How? Create a list of tasks and due dates based on the deadlines by which they need to be completed. So if I have 5 different tasks to be done on 5 different days, based on the given date, it should display a notification of the task to be done, and at the same time it should organize it. Tag a specified task, just like we have discussed in comment board. Your task needs, if required, you can add a priority to your notes. Next, get reminded about self-imposed deadlines. So if you are having a task to be done by 12 o'clock, then you should be reminded that this particular task needs to be done in your by 12 o'clock. So you should be reminded of it. Then, if required, you should have the option to edit the task and remove the task. And your interface should be user-friendly interface. This one is for the front end. Archive task. Hide the tasks that are completed. So when you complete a task, it should be hidden. At the same time, you should have an option to review your task later on, which you have completed, which means it should be archived, and when required, you can view it. So this again is common for both of your teams. We'll be working on ClickUp application for tracking the progress of our application. So again, the guidelines remain the same, guys. First, you are allowed to use any technologies for your view. Front end should be modular, reusable, and smart. I think I don't want to discuss much about this. Only thing we need is the Scrum Master. Okay, so guys, in your team, so we have 2 different teams, one with a team of 4 members and one with a team of 3 members. So what you guys need to do is discuss with yourself and choose a Scrum Master. Okay, Scrum Master is similar to a leader, but the difference is Scrum Master will just coordinate and ensure that the task is done. Okay, he will not command you or order you to do a task. Thing is, you will have a meeting, okay, every day in the morning as well as in the evening, and I'll be a part of it. Thing is, you will be having your own discussion, and based on the discussion, based on your individual skill or your willingness, a task will be provided, and the coordination will be taken care by the Scrum Master. Is that clear, all of you? Okay. So guys, now the time is 10:30. Okay, I need two different things, guys. One is evening around yeah, we can have. So guys, can we connect at 4 o'clock? Will you guys be able to prepare the requirements for day one?
Sir, can we get the PDF?
You want me to share?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, I will share. Which slide you want?
Sir, for
The common board.
yes, sir.
Okay. I think you will be having the access to it.
No, sir.
No, sir. No, sir. There is nothing on the dashboard, I guess. Only the concept session join.
Okay, I will share with them. Okay, so guys, what you guys need to do today is, first thing, you need to perform a requirement analysis and plan your work based on agile workflow. So your requirements should be, each team must go through the brief document, okay, which I'll be sharing it. Discuss and understand the problem statement. Think of an approach to solve the given problem. So again, guys, you are open to implement anything. Okay. Only thing, the constraint is, for front end, you'll be working on Angular. For back end, you will be working on Spring Boot. But the other technologies, you can implement anything. So you can work on MongoDB, NoSQL, Neo4j, whatever may be the database you can use. For authentication, whatever the authentication system you can use. Thing is, you are allowed to make any changes in your implementation, add any number of features. But the condition is, you should be in a position to complete it within 10 days. For front end, you will be using Angular, but the design or the UI, you can make use of any frameworks. You can work on Bootstrap or CSS or Material or the other Vue framework. You can work. It is open to you. Is that clear, all of you? Yes or no? Okay. So guys, what you guys will be doing is, after performing these requirement analysis today, okay, first give me the deadline, guys. How long it will take for you to discuss and have research work on it? And I need this diagram, use case diagram. It is just like your UML diagram, guys, or it can be a project flow diagram also. It will be better if you are working with the use case diagram. Can we have the connect at 5 o'clock? Okay. So if we are connecting at 5 o'clock, you should ensure that by 3 o'clock, you should complete these tasks. Remember, guys, only when you are able to complete these 4 tasks by 3 o'clock, you will be able to prepare a diagram and present it at 5 o'clock. Is that clear, all of you? Okay. So guys, please remember, don't follow things which you have done before. This is very important. Yes, Deepak, if you have doubt, you can ping me, no issues. Okay. And I'll be available on Zoom also, no issues. Thing is, guys, please remember, this is very important. Don't follow few things which are not good, which you did or which you followed in the past. Okay. Please try to meet the deadlines. It is very important. If you have a backlog today and if you're trying to work tomorrow, it is of no use, because tomorrow's task will be based on today's task completion. Please understand it. Whereas in your front end or back end modules, it will be just another concept session. You will be learning it. When you have time, you will have a recap on the previous day session, or you can watch the recorded session. But when you start working on a project or a task, deadlines are more important, because if you are not able to meet the deadline, maybe your team member who is going to work on other thing on day 2, he will not be able to work on it. He will be depending on you. Or you may have a task to be done on the day 2. Since you have not completed day 1, again, it is going to be extended. So guys, please avoid it. So clear, all of you? Okay. So guys, evening, okay, what I will do is evening at, yeah, we can connect at 5 o'clock itself. So we will connect at 5 o'clock. Evening, I need 2 things. One is the use case diagram and a scrum master in your team. You can choose yourself. Okay, if there is any changes or any suggestions, I will provide it, but you can work on your own. So choose a scrum master, prepare a use case diagram, collaborate with yourself, work together, perform a requirement analysis on these things, a brief document how your application should look like, what are the features you can add, how the application will work. You can perform those requirement analysis today and prepare a use case diagram and present it at 5 o'clock. Is it clear, all of you?
Sir, like we have to create only use case diagrams for today, right?
Yes. Thing is, you need to research, understand how the Kanban board or to-do list works.
Okay.
You can add your own features also. Google it or search the references. There are different applications. Even in Android, we have different applications.
Okay.
Just check how they work, what are the properties or features they have, how you want your application to look. You can work on it. Say one may look for technologies for the view. So we have only discussed about Angular, Material, Bootstrap, and CSS. If you want to implement something new, which is providing a different features, so one of your teammates may research on it. One may research on how the Kanban layout works. One may work on the backend technologies to be used. Thing is, by the end of the day, you should collaborate yourself either in the afternoon. Collaborate yourself, discuss, come to a conclusion. 3 o'clock, you should have a complete structure of your project, convert it into a use case diagram.
Okay, sir.
Am I clear, all of you? And one more thing, install this application on your machine. So we need to work with this. Click up. Okay. Any doubts, guys? Okay. So thank you, guys. Please start working on your requirement analysis. I will share you the PDF on Slack. Yes, Siddhesh.